Alex, thank you so much. I'm really honored to be with you today. You are one of the top session drummers in the UK. You are so young.
I would not say that.
Huh?
I wouldn't say that.
No, I would say that. But you are so young, but you have already worked with many international artists. James Morrison, Niall Horan, Will Young, and in Italy as well, with them a couple of years ago. What did you learn from this experience, this Italian experience, and what's the difference between working here and in the UK?
For me, I mean, musically, there's like not much difference. The big thing was, which was quite interesting, was obviously the language barrier. First of all, because I don't speak Italian, you know, very, very little.
Were you the only one?
So me,
player from the UK.
Me and the guitar player.
The guitar player.
See, so a guy called Ryan Haberfield. So he was from Wales. I think he's from Cardiff. So he has a really thick kind of Welsh accent, which was quite funny when we were trying to, you know, pick up little bits of Italian and try and, you know. But luckily, like everyone in the band, the MD Luca spoke English obviously very well. Emma didn't really speak English, so that was the biggest thing for me, which was obviously different. It was the first time I'd worked with an artist where I can't really how kind of communicating with her through someone else.
And musically, what's the difference?
Musically, for me, like I remember being in rehearsals and we were playing through songs, and obviously we got through about 5 or 6 tunes, and it kind of dawned on me like I have no idea what these songs are about. You know, I like if I want to come, you know, if I'm playing and I want to draw on like an emotional thing, I've got no idea what these songs are about. So I had to like obviously ask everyone around me like, what's this song about? Which song is this about? And also,
this is interesting.
Yeah,
so
there's also some.
It is a way you learn when you play the drums, listen to lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. And just the one funny moment that like comes to mind was, I mean, it's funny for me, but we're playing this song, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I'm like really getting into it, like looking at Ryan, I'm like, yeah. And then I look at Bob, the other guitar player, Bob Angelini. I said, what's the song about? And he was like, oh, it's about domestic violence, man. So maybe don't, you know, so stuff like that, which is quite funny. And yeah, but I had a great time, man. Like I really, really enjoyed playing with them there.
And talking about your musical background, you probably had a specific vision of what you wanted to become. You are a session player, and you wanted to be a session player. So I'd like to understand, how did you practice? How did you prepare yourself to be a musician like this?
I was really lucky when I was about 12, 13. I had a really amazing drum teacher, a guy called Stu Roberts, who was my first teacher. And he straight away kind of introduced me to music, really. So it wasn't so much like you know, where you go for drum lessons and you have a pad and you're just working on stuff. You know, it was more, this drummer's called Steve Gadd, check this out. And or like, you know, I remember there's this drummer called Steve Washington thing. He used to give me a load of stuff from Steve Washington, which was really cool. And so I think like having someone who was really kind of more into music than drumming as a whole, that was a massive help, I think, for me, because I think a lot of guys, you know, when you start playing drums, you might just play in a room and you can get really good at chops and you can get really great hands, but if you don't have much experience actually playing music and music with other people,
so playing with people, playing with musicians, playing along records,
exactly. That's really where I kind of, hanging out with Stu, he'd always give me like loads of stuff to check out records wise.
What about reading and writing music? Did you transcribe something?
I mean, he was a big, like, reading was a big part of his lessons, and I was probably not a very good student with that stuff because you know, I try and do it, I just get bored, and now I really wish that I had kind of, because I don't read music, and so far like I haven't needed to read music. I haven't needed that side of it yet, you know, in my career. But it's a skill that I really want to get together actually at some point, because I'm sure, you know, maybe later on down the line there might be some stuff which comes in, which is like, can you read? Yeah. And you know, if you can read, then it's just it's an entirely you know, there's just more jobs basically, I guess, if you can do that as well as the other thing. And I mean, in pop music, you're never presented with dots to read, really.
And what drummers now inspires you more? From now, or maybe from the past?
Yeah, I guess I'm always going through kind of phases, really. But I guess my favourite, like really like favourite drummers, I guess, was a drummer called Jim, who was kind of like one of the most prolific kind of records guys, like in the 60s and 70s, and obviously Andy Newmark is a big one. I love Andy Newmark, Sly and the Family Stone, all that kind of stuff. I love James Gadson, Steve Gadd.
All drummers from the past. I
Yeah.
mean, you are an
Ringer,
unconventional drummer, because now the drumming community is more like on gospel chops or that technical stuff.
I love you loud, deserve it. When did I get grateful for your love?
You like to play for the song, you're not interested in chops. Is a choice that you made for to be different from the other drummers, or is it exactly the way you think about the drums?
Yeah, I guess, you know, ultimately I want to be playing music and playing with bands or artists or whatever. I think there's definitely a time and a place for that chop stuff. If you're really into that, that's really great. I think it's important to obviously like focus on other stuff, you know, like sound, groove, and that kind of stuff. But I think really it's just trying to be not even really looking at the drums, as it's just more trying to be a good musician. And the drums is just another instrument which, you know, makes up like an
Do you play other instruments?
I can play, not really, I can play like a tiny little bit of piano and stuff, but I wouldn't be able to do a gig on but you know, if in the studio and stuff, we can, like, I can tinker about and come up with stuff. But you know, like the most important thing is that people, they pay money to come and see the singer. They're not coming to see you, they're coming to see their favourite artist or, you know, band or whatever, so it's just your job to
Serve the song.
exactly.
Let's talk for a moment about one of your mentors, the great Ash Son, a close friend of yours, and he's one of the greatest drummers in the world today. What did you learn from him? Do you have some tips to share for Italian drummers?
Yeah, Ash has been like really cool with me, and he's been, a lot of the gigs I've ended up doing have kind of been through here, like the I started playing with Emma because I think originally they called him to do it, and he was doing voice. And
Did you study with him or only a friend of yours?
didn't really like study with him. I just I met him maybe about 7 years ago now, and he was playing a gig with Trevor Vaughan. He did a masterclass as well at my college, and yeah, I just remember going down to this gig like with my dad, and just kind of went up to him and just went, "Hello, like, nice to meet you," and he was dead cool. And then just like over the years, yeah, from then, like, he kind of let me hang out. You know, he was doing sessions and stuff in town. We had to go in and just sit in the control room and just kind of watch him cut stuff. You know, on like proper sessions as well. Like, so I was really grateful. There's not many guys, I don't think, that would be up for doing that. And he really kind of championed me. So yeah, really grateful. in terms of things I've learned from him, I don't know. I guess just having that opportunity to just watch him, you know, back where I would be sitting on the control, and just see kind of the way he, his touch on the drums in the studio, and the way he kind of hit the snare drum like kind of in the dead center, no rim shot.
Yeah.
That was kind of like an eye-opening thing for me. Also, there's certain feel things where he would he'd be able to switch up feels, you know, very you know, just like that, you know, on top of the click, behind the click. You know, it's amazing when you know how you play the hi-hat, how that can change the whole song. You know, like if you're like,
He explained to you this, or you noticed that in the studio?
kind of a bit of both.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, I had obviously a massive advantage by being literally there. Yeah, and again, and also, like, you know, I sat behind his drums, like on The Voice a few times, and kind of seen how fast it all is, and yeah. So I think all the stuff I kind of learned from him was really from just being there and just him letting me kind of see him do it.
Take me home, fingertips putting on the show. Can't you tell I want you, baby? Yeah, so hands like sweat dripping down.
Okay, now we have some questions from your fans.
That's
Are
hilarious.
you ready?
Yeah.
What about working in London today? Is it difficult to find gigs?
Yeah, it's this. I don't like using the word competition because it's not. Music isn't a competition. There's so many amazing musicians everywhere. I think it's maybe harder to get pop gigs now because there's so many musicians.
How did you get the job with James Morrison and Niall Horan? Auditions?
Both of those actually weren't auditions. The James gig came about because there's a musical director, a friend of mine, who came onto the gig at a particular time. I think it was like the third record that James had done, or the fourth record, I don't know. And there was a few personnel changes, and he gave me a call to go and do it, and I just went to a rehearsal and met James and met the band, and there was some members of the old band there and some new guys. And then the thing with Niall, that all came about very quickly actually, and was all a bit random. There was the drummer called Jerry Morgan who used to play with Niall, but he also plays with James Bay. And essentially, I think what happened was there was like he was going to be touring with James, and the tour dates clashed, and all that kind of stuff. So he gave me a shout, and then the MD kind of called me up, and it all happened very quickly.
Okay, let's say you have to record the most important album of your life, okay? But you can bring with yourself only one snare drum. Only one. Which is the snare you bring with you?
I don't know.
Da, 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 da.
Maybe like maybe like an old Black Beauty, Ludwig, maybe.
Alex, good luck.
Mate,
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, man.
And
Cheers.
I wait for you on the cover of
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. Say something for Italian
Grazie a
people.
tutti.
Grazie a tutti. Thank you so much. Thank
Great.
you.